Drew Alba alongside manager of the Walla Walla Sweets, Colby Watilo, for another edition of Countdown with Colby. Game number 3 against the Marion Berries, the rubber match. How your team come out with a win and go into an off day tomorrow, and then 6 games straight in the middle of a playoff push.
Yeah, I think we come out with good energy. We get it's a kind of a short week for us, right? Coming off the All-Star break and not having games in the midweek, and then we get the day off tomorrow. So, yeah, it's a long travel back, but for us, it's empty the tank, leave it all out there, come out with good energy. We need some guys that continue to step up in the opportunities and the roles that they're being put in, and I think if we do that, we get out of here with a series win and head back home with some momentum.
Every game is a big one, but if the Sweets lose today, it'd be out of the playoff spot for the first time this season. Does that go through your head at all, or do you kind of just move forward?
Trying to take it one game at a time, right, and control the things that we can, and that's we have our eyes on that as we're moving through the year, but also realizing, hey, there's 15 more games to play after we get done with today, and so I don't think the results in today's game makes or breaks our season. It's just we need to come out, put our best foot forward today, and then move on as we can to the next series with Bend on Tuesday. But something we're keeping an eye on, but not trying to focus or let it dictate what we're trying to do day to day.
Won't spend too much time on it, but a quick flashback to yesterday's ball game. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Andrew Demino, a guy that's been coming up clutch all season for the Sweets, just couldn't get it done in that moment. What do you tell a guy after that spot?
Yeah, I think it's just continuing to fight, continuing to go and have good at bats. And baseball's a game of failure, and it's hard to expect a guy. Yeah, a guy builds a track record up of coming through in situations like that. It's easy to, I think, start to expect that, oh, hey, like this guy's up in this situation, like he's gonna come through, and we forget that as cliche as it is, right? 7 out of 10 times you fail in this game, and you're a great player, and so. I think if we continue to, I think the other thing you can take away from it is, hey, we had the bases loaded, right, and a chance to take the lead late in that game, which is awesome to see. We're putting ourselves in a spot to be one swing away to have the guys on base, and we talked about it a little bit after the game yesterday. Game 1 against the Marion Bears, we got the swing, we got it done, and yesterday we just didn't. So we try to turn our focus to today, continue to put ourselves in positions to score, to have runners on base to score, and then have good at bats and hopefully get those guys in.
Nikola back in the starting rotation today, out on the hill. What do you expect out of him after a couple of good relief appearances?
Yeah, excited to see him come into the game and hopefully fill it up, kind of give us some length out of that starting rotation and get us to the back end of a game. He's a guy that wants the ball in his hand. He wants to take the ball and go and compete, and any opportunity he gets to be on the mound. He's excited about and he's prepared to go both mentally and physically. So it'll be great to see him out there. He came into the series having to make some adjustments to find ourselves in the place that we are, and so like I said, he's clawing at it, ready to go. He's been ready for the day, so I'm excited to see him go.
I was talking to him a few weeks ago. He's obviously a super boisterous, outgoing guy off the mound, but the second he gets on the mound, he turns into a completely different personality. Have you noticed that at all about him?
Yeah, he's pretty stoic and pretty calm. He shows emotion in selective times out there on the mound, which I think is mature, and I think it's a good thing to see. You don't want a guy to show too much emotion to the hitters and to tip maybe where they're at mentally and whatnot. We talked a lot about trying to be consistent, trying to be not ride the roller coaster of emotion, right? Trying to be a little bit more steady, a little bit more stable, and so he's a guy that does that. And if he sit around or he has an inning that maybe doesn't go his way, he's going to go right back out there, and I would put the house on that he's going to get a 0 and go have a great inning for us right afterwards.
The first time the Sweets play the Berries, obviously, this season, but also in the entirety of the franchise history, as the Berries are a new team this year in the West Coast League. So what is your assessment of this field, the environment here in Salem?
Yeah, it's fun. I think it's something that the community seems to be excited about. You can tell that there's the regulars and the people that are here every night, which is awesome to see. I think that's a good foundation for a fan base. So it's a good place. They've, I think, dealt with a lot of adversity here in their first year, and so, but I think what they've done with their situation with the setup here at Chemeketa is awesome. It's a good place to play. I think it's only going to get better, and hopefully they can continue to expand out into the Salem area, get a little bit bigger fan base, more people get on board, and I think it just makes the league better. It makes it another great place to go play. So it's been they're a good team. They run things well. They do things the right way, and so it's been a great opponent to have for 3 days.
Other than the Marion Berries here in Salem, There's also a somewhat popular burger joint, In-N-Out. A lot of California guys are going to make a stop on the way back.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll use it as a post-game surprise for the guys and just take the bus there afterwards. So.
Or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be Biggs Junction.
Ooh, that would be very fun.
Yeah.
You ready for the bus ride back?
Oh yeah, it'll be great to be home and get back to our own bed and then get ready for a long homestand at home. So over a week we get to be in town in Walla Walla and play 6 games and get to see the Berries 3 more times, but get to see the Bend Elks at home, which is 6 huge games for us.
Yesterday's ball game used just 2 pitchers. The game before that, just 2 as well. Do you kind of reap the rewards here in game number 3 as far as the bullpen goes?
Yeah, definitely have a little bit more depth here for game 3. I mean, it's kind of, you have a couple guys step up out of the pen in Paxton Fenberg and Jared Glenn, and able to get us a little bit more depth here to have on Sunday versus kind of doing it the opposite, right? Where you use more arms early on in the series, and then all of a sudden you get to Sunday and you're relying on 1 or 2 guys to pretty much throw all 9 innings. And so we're in a good spot. We've got the guys in the pen, we've got the guys in the rotation, we've got the guys in the field and at the bat that can give us a chance to win any game. So I'll take our chances. I think we come out, if we control what we can, I think it's a good one for the Sweets.
This brings us to our question of the day with manager of the Walla Walla Sweets, Colby Watilo. I almost just called you Countdown with Colby.
That would have been crazy.
That's not your name. Your
No,
name
it's
is
not.
Colby. All right, you're a coach.
Yep.
But what have you learned from a coach that still sticks out to you? If you had to pick one thing from any guy over the years, anything that kind of has shaped your baseball philosophy?
I think one thing that Coach Kitamura at Whitman, who I'm working for now, is talks about playing the game in front of you and winning the game in front of you, and as we look at the playoff picture, as we look at series, so you call it series baseball, right? As you're trying to staff and manage your team throughout a series to make sure you have the guys. It's there's an aspect of, hey, the most important game is the one that's right in front of you, and you want to take care of business in that one before you move to the next. And so we're always trying to do that. Well, yeah, you're trying to manage the team the best that you can, but at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice the fact that, hey, the most important game that you can try to coach and try to win and play as a player is the one that you have in front of you. So that's a good one. My first coaching mentor at George Fox, Kevin Koppel, who's the head coach there, really kind of instilled in me early. It's, hey, coaching is about the players, and like what we do is not about ourselves, and what we do as a coaching staff isn't about us or trying to prove that the preparation that we put in is right or wrong. It's really about supporting the players and being there for them and trying to give them the best opportunity to go compete, to go have fun, to have a positive experience. And so trying to keep those guys at the forefront, kind of have a service-minded attitude towards coaching, doing what we do to try to make them better and try to do it for them so that they can enjoy their experience here in Walla Walla.
And what have you learned as the manager / head coach of the Walla Walla Sweets that you might have necessarily not known as not being the head guy at other places?
I think a lead like the West Coast League in a organization like the Sweets is just the importance on being consistent when you show up every single day. When it's long bus rides and it's a lot of games and it's not a lot of time off, it's really easy to ride the wave of results or be really good energy-wise at the very beginning of the year, right? But now you get to the middle of July and you start to feel it a little bit. But that's kind of the challenge is, hey, can you buckle down and keep your focus, and can you show up with the same kind of intensity, the same kind of energy, the same kind of effort, that we're asking for the guys to show up with. And so I think that's just the importance of consistency in your preparation and the way you go about playing the game. You look at a guy at the major league level, right, and they say a lot of the reasons those guys find themselves at the major league level versus maybe stuck in the minors is their consistency and their ability to do what they do, obviously at a high level, but do it day in and day out. And so that's something we're trying to get the guys to understand. And when you're trying to teach 18 to 21, 22-year-olds, like there's some ebbs and flows, and some guys, some guys get it, and some guys are still trying to work on it, right? But that's the experience of the West Coast League and it being a developmental league like this is just trying to give them the opportunity to put the insight into their minds, and then give them the opportunity to try to rep it out. And hey, if it clicks to here, it clicks, and we're excited about it. But if not, it's something they take away and continue to work on in the future.
Manager of the Walla Walla Sweets, Colby Watilo, ahead of Game 3 against the Marion Berries. The rubber match. We'll have to see what happens tonight. Thanks so much, Coach.
Hey, bet. Thanks, Drew. Go Sweets.